What's going on, guys? Got an important video for today. We're just going to get right into it. We're talking about the Epstein files. So, they just released what they say is going to be the last Epstein file release. They just released 30 million pages, which comes with thousands of videos, thousands of images, and it's blurred out all of the women's names in there. We have a lot of notable men in there, but all of the women have their names blurred out. So this is kind of the biggest dump of them all, of course. I mean, 30 mil, that's going to make some noise, right? And this is right in the midst of it. People are going crazy on Twitter right now. Twitter's viral. People are on TikTok talking about it. It's everywhere. And of course, Donald Trump is getting the most heat right now because, he's in it multiple times. But let's go ahead and get into it. So, there's been a lot of speculations that Trump was, Netanyahu tried to get Trump to go to war with Iran. He tried to get Trump to bomb Iran the last time that he was here, or at least missiles and at least attack Iran. That was the plan. That's what he wanted. But people are saying that he didn't attack Iran. He didn't do that. So instead, they released the Epstein files to punish him for not attacking Iran. I don't believe this story at all. It doesn't even seem like, I don't believe that, because he didn't want to attack Iran, and then the Epstein files get released, and then he attacks Iran anyway. You don't think he would have just said, hey, if you don't do this, Epstein files are getting released, and then Trump would have just done it? Why would he wait for the files to get released and then attack? Because we're attacking Iran anyway, by the way, if you guys didn't know. That's going to be happening for sure. But it just doesn't make any sense as to why he would wait. I'm not buying that. I'm not really buying that at all. But, there's just a lot of options here we could look at, because, we have to take this all the way back to Obama's term. Because when people talk about going to war with Iran, they're trying to get him to do this and that. Well, we're already going to war with Iran. This was already imminent because Obama structured the Iranian nuclear deal, which pretty much halted the creation of nuclear weapons. It halted their creation of nuclear weapons and refining uranium. And, China was in the deal, Russia was in the deal, France, the UK, they were all in this, So, and Israel was furious about this deal. They were mad because what it did was they couldn't have a reason to attack Iran, because the only reason they had to attack Iran was, they're building nuclear weapons. Weapons of mass destruction, guys. Just like Iraq. Does that ring a bell? Weapons of mass destruction. So that's all they had. But when Obama killed that whole thing, and he actually made the peace, well, in Iran at least. He was bombing Syria, bombing Afghanistan. He was bombing everywhere else, lighting it up daily. But as far as Iran, we did have that deal set. When Trump got in, first thing he did, USA is withdrawing out of the Iranian nuclear deal. First thing he did. So that changed it all. Right now we're back into and as soon as we do that, rumors are already starting to hit the media. Iran is going to build a nuke. Iran is saying death to America. Iran is going to do this. Iran is a problem. And And, us going into Iran is just looking more and more imminent by the day. So, like I said, that was already set up a long time ago. That was already set up in Trump's first term. That was already set up, or I think it was, yeah, his first term. So, or second term. I forgot which one it was, but so that's definitely something that a lot of people worry about. But hey, like I said, man, it's imminent. We're going to war. I don't know if we're going to go to war with Iran, but it's looking like we're going to attack them for sure. And we're looking for regime change. There's a lot of reports going out that's saying we are looking to attack Iran this weekend, this week. Well, tomorrow's Saturday, so within the next couple days. And we are looking to, for regime change. So that's horrible news for us Americans. That's horrible news for us because we want nothing to do with Iran. We want nothing to do with Iran. This is the Eastern Hemisphere. This is not the Western Hemisphere. This has nothing to do with us. This has absolutely nothing to do with us. I don't know why we're over there in the first place. Well, I know why we're over there, but we shouldn't be over there in the first place. Right? We want regime change. These people need democracy. How dumb are we? Is that it? These people need democracy? What are we, angels? What are we, the Avengers? The police of the world? What are we, the Justice League? What do you mean they need democracy? So what about the other 86 countries that need democracy? What about that? Are we just going to go one by one? Come on, guys. We got to wake up. We got to wake up. So this is going to be really expensive, number one. Number one, it's going to be super expensive. Number two, a lot of Americans are going to die if this is anything like Iraq. Which we saw thousands of Americans dead. Not an Israeli dead. No Israeli soldiers were fighting in the Iraq war. Only Americans. Thanks, guys. But, it's just it's not looking well for us. It's just not looking well. So, we'll kind of see how that goes. But the Epstein files, though, getting back to those. So, we're seeing a lot of notable names in the Epstein files. We have seen Elon Musk is in the files. I'm not really sure what he's in there for. A lot of people are saying he's guilty. He's innocent. He didn't do anything. He's just in there. His name was kind of just mentioned. It's not like saying he did anything with a kid or anything. His name is just kind of in there. He's just kind of associating with these people. He is rich, so it makes sense. But it doesn't look like he was doing anything too heinous. Just a slight name drop. Pusha T and Jay-Z were also in there. A little bit more involved than Elon Musk, I would say, because I think Pusha T, they were talking about him. They said he was a handler of one of the women. A handler. That can't be good. That can't be good. I'm guessing that means that, one of the women that Jeffrey Epstein was dealing with, he, kind of gave her to Pusha T. That's the only thing I could think of, gave her to Pusha T, or, Pusha T was just really a part of the operation. That's the worst part, or that's like the worst scenario. So either one, but it just doesn't look good for either of those guys. I'm sure their public credibility is going to take a hit. Their street cred probably going to go up. But as far as their approval rating is just not going to look too good overall in the society. When you're on the Epstein files, personally, I think people are kind of overblowing it a little bit. Because people are just like, oh my gosh, like, how could they do these things? This is insane. This is crazy. Like, go to Africa. go to China, go to Russia. Like, this happens everywhere. Yes, we know about this, and there's a lot of notable people in there, but they're like, oh my gosh, they had sex with a 14-year-old girl. Like, I can't believe this. It's like, that's like legal in Italy. I'm not saying this was good. I'm not saying none of this was all right, but you know, just relax and just read the files. You're doing a little bit too much. George Bush also named in the files. This one was crazy. I mean, it sounds like one of the guys. I don't know what a guy was doing there. A guy victim. I guess he was dealing with guys too. Epstein was. They said he cut off his feet. Um, you know, and they said he got raped by George Bush. And it was like, I didn't know he got raped by Bush too. That was the thing in the email. Wow, I didn't know he got raped by Bush too. Like, bro was having a horrible day. Bro had one of the worst Epstein experiences, absolutely. You know, that sucks. It's not fair to him. You know, that's pretty heinous. That's pretty callous to be doing stuff like that. You know, I'm sure he didn't even want to be involved in this either. You know, so that's the type of things going on in this world. So you got to be aware of that. You know, people come off as charming or charismatic, but if they're a billionaire, they probably got a past to them, or they got some stuff that they did that you would probably never do. Hopefully you wouldn't do. It's hard to be an ethical, morally ethical billionaire, because at that point, you gotta have some slaves, whether they're in China, the kids doing the work in the warehouses, whether they're Indians working $3 an hour for your tech company. You gotta have some type of crazy labor to get that $1 billion. That's just what it is. So moving on to the files, I mean, there was a witness that said, it said something like Trump was in a pageant with one of the girls and he kind of like put his finger in her punani to try to figure out if she was like tight for auctioning her off or something like that. Which is, I mean, that's crazy. That's our sitting president. So that's a big accusation. But it turns out that they said the source, it was a single source. They said that source was not credible. So that's a bummer for the Democrats. They've been trying to get him with some evidence, with some good hard evidence for a while. I don't know, man. Maybe he might be a good guy. Maybe he was just with Jeffrey Epstein. Maybe he was trying to bring him to Christ. Nah, probably not. But you just got to hope for the best for things like that, But that's kind of how it was looking for the most part for the Epstein files. Jeffrey Epstein was banned off Xbox Live for harassing people and being cruel in the parties. Well, I'm guessing he was playing Black Ops, Call of Duty, throwing an N-word around a couple times. I mean, we all been there. I mean, I'm black, so I'm probably, depends the game. But we all been there, man. So I think we could all relate to that. But other than that, man, I mean, we're looking at monstrosities. We're looking at wickedness. We're looking at tragedies. And nobody wants to see this. Nobody's happy to see this. But I think we're going to see a lot more stuff uncovering. So we just got to stay tuned. Is somebody going to read all 30 million pages? I'm sure. This is the internet we're talking about. And then this is the Epstein files we're talking about. They're going to get down to everything. So in this next couple of days, I think we're going to start to get a lot more information. Like I said, they're planning to attack Iran in a couple days. So a video on that will, be on the lookout for that. But until then, man, we're locked in. We're locked in. This is 2026. January is coming to a close. February is coming up. First month of the new year. Hopefully you guys, leveled up, stepped it up a bit, going to the gym, getting muscles, stop eating junk food, talk to that girl that you like, read books, book max, read max. If you want to make videos on YouTube, if you want to make videos on Instagram, just start posting, bro. Who cares what your friends say from back home? They're probably losers. I guarantee you they're probably losers. In the nicest way possible. They're probably not doing anything in life. And that's just the law of averages. I mean, most people are going to be peasants. So we're posting, we're working out, we're becoming a Chad, we're becoming charismatic, we're working on our social skills, our communication skills. And we're gonna really, really be locked in this year. Because if we go to war with Iran, we're gonna need all the resilience that we can possibly have. Because things are gonna start to get tough. New York is in a recession. Shout out Zoran Mandani. So I think it's really time to put the foot on the gas for a lot of guys. For a lot of guys. It's just looking like chaos for a lot of guys. So why not just give it your all? Why not just go as hard as you can and just leave it all on the table? Why not? That's what I say. And that's what I'll be doing.